In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the variable valve timing adjuster magnet on your Chevy Express 2500. This is going to be located in front of the motor. Let's get started. Using a 10mm socket, remove the 2 bolts for the air cleaner. Using a 7mm socket, loosen the clamp on the back of the air cleaner. On the front, we have a connector. We're going to pinch this tab right here and pull straight back. Remove that connector. There's our tab. Pick straight up and remove the air cleaner assembly. Using a 10mm socket, remove the bolt for the coolant reservoir. Remove the reservoir and pop it off to the side. We're going to remove the 3 plastic clips on top of our shroud using a trim removal tool. We have 2 for the harness in the front. Pop that up. We're going to pull it in front of our shroud. And we have 1 for our coolant hose. Pop that up and out. Recommend flipping this over so it doesn't reconnect itself. Using a 10mm socket, remove the bolts for the shroud. We have 2 on top. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to reach down and get the 3 screws on each side of the shroud. Remove the 3 screws and then go and do the same on the other side. Using a 7mm socket, loosen the clamp. Remove the hose on the side of the intake and remove the boot. Move the hoses back around the shroud. We're going to pick it up on this far side and remove it from the vehicle. We're going to use a long-handled striking tool and we're going to get right on the corner of this nut and we are going to shock it free. I want to hit this in the counterclockwise direction. Break the nut free and remove the fan. Using a 15mm wrench, pull the tension off of your belt and remove the belt. Let the tension off of your wrench. And we're going to remove the belt from the system. We're going to use a 24mm socket and get on our crank bolt. We're going to use a pry bar and we're going to pull this stretch belt off of our pulleys. Remove the belt. Using a pair of pliers, we're going to pinch the clamp for the upper radiator hose. Slide the clamp back. Be sure you have a collection bucket under you before removing this hose. Coolant will come out. We have 3 10mm bolts on either side of our water pump that we need to remove. Do the same thing on the other side. And the rest of our coolant's going to come out. Pull the water pump assembly forward. And I'm going to tie this up out of the way. We have a connector. We're going to open up. Remove the connector. There's a push button on bottom. You can push on this tab, pull straight back, remove the connector. If you can't get to that tab, use a flat blade screwdriver Gently get under this tab right here and then push straight back and remove that connector. Remove the three 10mm bolts for the adjuster magnet. Going to use a wrench for the last one. Remove the 10mm bolt. Pull that guard out of the way. And remove the adjuster. Using a clean rag with some brake parts cleaner, we're going to go around and we're going to clean our mating surface. We're just going to get it nice and shiny. When you're wiping, you want to wipe all of this away from the motor and not into the motor. With the mating surface nice and clean, we can install our new sensor. Get it down into place and get the bolt started. Install the bolt for the crank sensor guard. Snug it down. Install the connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Be sure that red locking tab is closed. Torque the bolts to 9 foot-pounds. If you can't get a torque wrench on it, do the best you can. We're going to remove the old water pump gasket. I'm going to use a razor blade to help me get all this old gasket off. Get this mating surface nice and shiny, and then repeat the same thing on the other side. Clean the mating surface on the back of the water pump using a clean rag with some parts cleaner. Do this on both. Install the water pump gasket and install your bolt through. We're going to thread this into the gasket so that it'll hold the gasket onto the back side for us. Do this with all 3 bolts. And repeat the process for the other side. We're going to unstrap our water pump and pull it down. Get it into place. And get the bolts started. We're going to torque our water pump bolts in 2 steps. Our first step is going to be 11 foot-pounds, and our second is going to be 22. We're going to go in a cross pattern. Go back around to 22 foot-pounds. Install the cooling hose back onto the water pump. Get it fully seated. Pinch the clamp and pull it back into place. Install the stretch belt around the compressor. Using a pair of locking pliers, we're going to clamp our belt to our crank pulley, and then we're going to pull it over. Make sure your belt is installed on the AC compressor, and then pull it over to the crank halfway, and that's where we'll clamp our pliers. A second set of hands with a pry bar also is very helpful. And now we're going to work the belt towards the back of the pulley. Get the belt installed. We're going to install our belt. Follow the diagram on screen. Go around the crank, over the water pump. Go down around the power steering. Up and over, down and around. I'm going to get my belt installed onto all of my pulleys except this idler here. That's going to be my last one. Use that wrench and pull the tension out. Install the belt onto the idler pulley. Make sure the belt is sitting on all the grooves and on all the flats where it should be. Sure it's aligned correctly. Install the fan and clutch assembly and spin it on. With our fan clutch fully spun on, we are going to torque it. If you have the ability to hold the pulley and tighten it down, you're going to torque it to 40 foot-pounds. And we're going to set this exactly the way we got it loose. We're going to take the tension off of our tensioner. I'm going to pull that serpentine belt back up over. Make sure your belt is sitting correctly. When we say make sure it's sitting evenly, right here you can see where the belt used to ride and how it's offset now. In this case, I will take tension off, slide that belt over to where it was riding, and then take the tension back off. We're going to grab our coolant hose, pull it up out of the way. Get the shroud installed. Install the 3 bolts on the side of the shroud. Get them started by hand. Snug down the bolts. Do the same thing on the other side. Pull the shroud forward and get the bolts installed. Do the same thing on the other side. We're going to install the boot. Make sure you have towards engine going towards the engine. Get the boot installed. Get that hose installed on the side. Make sure it's fully seated. Snug down the bolt for the clamp. Install the plastic stays for the harness and for our upper radiator hose. Install the intake onto the boot. And there's 2 grommets right here that our intake is going to drop onto. You'll feel them click into place. Install the 2 10mm bolts on front. Pull the connector up and out. Push until you hear a click. If you don't hear a click, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Tighten the clamp. Grab the coolant reservoir and pull it over. Get it installed into the 2 locating tabs up top. Slide it back into place. Get the bolt started. Snug the bolt down and you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.